So I was looking at something in reference. It literally dawned on me, and while I'm waiting for technology to speed up so that way I can actually get to the point of the other posts that I wanted to do, once, technology finishes uploading the other videos that I've been waiting for it to finish doing, that has been taking quite a bit of time and a ridiculous amount of time to get it done. However, that being said, until I can get to those particular video broadcasts that I'd like to get done, again, once technology stuff actually gets moving and is finished uploading the prior ones, because of however. In regards to the aspects of yesterday's interview time with the War Room Owen Shroyer from InfoWars. Again, I know what I wrote in reference to FailSafe, Kennedy Curse fused with science fiction fantasy. I wrote this. I came up with it on my own. This book, yes, I wrote it. I know that I don't have my picture on the back. There was issues, ironically again, with technology being a problem. Irony. Any of the books that I've written and had published that do not have my picture on it was because of a problem with technology. So, just as an example, like any other book that I have written, I tend to put the little square thing there. So any of the books that I have written that don't have that, that's because of the problems with the company's technology. Not in any offense towards them, it's just the reality as to why there's not my picture on the back. That's the reality. That's the point. Anyway, so I'm going to read a specific aspect because of what occurred in reference to my Medal of Honor art project. So, Plato solemnly said, "Only the dead have seen the end of war." Prior to that, in this book, President Dwight D. Eisenhower's voice declared loudly, "People who value their privileges over their principles soon lose both." And prior to that, the quote is, George Orwell's voice whispered from seemingly nowhere, "People sleep peacefully in their beds at night only because of the women and men who stand ready to do violence on their behalf." Prior to that, Mahatma Gandhi stated, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow while learning as if you will live forever." Prior to that, Dr. King Jr. whispered in her ear, "I have decided to stick with love because hate is too much I have decided to stick with love because hate is too great of a burden to bear." Two more quotes in this. General Patton declared, "Success is how high you bounce when you have hit rock bottom." And Benjamin Franklin stated, "Do not fear your mistakes, for you will know failure. Continue reaching out and you will achieve your necessary success." So returning, G as in golf, K as in kilo. Chesterson's voice added, "Courage is almost a contradiction in terms. It means a strong desire to live, taking in form of the readiness to die." Moving closer and pushing the men to the side, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. added, "Mankind must learn to live together as brothers or perish as fools." So, in reference to my Medal of Honor art project, and only the dead have seen the end of war. Well, they were technically supposed to have seen the end of war because they were dead. They are dead, obviously. So, for example, in regards to my Medal of Honor art project, because of what occurred in reference to the problems to my Medal of Honor art project, I raised the dead. And the cherubim ones that caused problems to my Medal of Honor art project. Well, the irony of Owen Shroyer's show being called The War Room, and then that whole like prophecy aspect. Because yes, in this book I quote Revelations, every chapter, every verse. And then the titles of all of my books combined all have prophetic names. For example, the Curious Children's book series. What is a family? What difference does it make? Volume, chapter, book. Or, finding a silver lining, finding the silver lining. I'm sure that those particular different aspects could probably line up with testaments. And then the irony is in the Book of Omni, in the Book of Mormon, or the chapter of Omni, or the and the Book of Mormon, and the covenants and the Pearl of Great Price. Every single letter when I do a mass letter, or had when requesting help, for example, my daughter and what occurred in reference to that situation, as well as what occurred to try to get the soldiers and veterans help when it wasn't directly to, for example, Senator John Cornyn, to whom it may concern, over and over again, because not always knowing. And so I'm going to, real quick, go grab the cell phone that has that particular aspect. And again, once technology actually finishes speeding up the other stuff that I've been waiting for it to upload for hours, but apparently there's issues on that taking long, I'm going to guesstimate it probably has to do with certain individuals nearby causing issues as far as that's concerned. So where is it? In the Book of Omni. Literally just, there was, there was a specific one that I had seen where it literally says, to whom it may concern. And now I would, chapter 27 of the Book of Omni, and now I would speak somewhat concerning a certain number who went up into the wilderness. That's an example, though they're actually, I know that there were a few others in different areas, but yes, the different aspects of the Book of Nephi. Just be more simplistic instead of... has to do that instead of just being simplistic and working. That just around that. But yes, there have been several aspects in which there have been time or two of seeing to whom it may concern over and over again. And so again, in reference to there's the Book of Mormon, chapter 1, verse 14, and there were no gifts from the Lord, and the Holy Ghost did not come upon any because of their wickedness and unbelief. You can go in reference to Washington State on that, because of, I wasn't going to be a part of that. Chapter 19 of that same book, and it came to pass there were sorceries and witchcrafts and magics, and the power of the evil one was wrought upon all the face of the land, even unto the fulfilling of all the words. Well, right there. So, there's been a few other aspects, but yeah. In regards to those cherubim ones causing problems for my Medal of Honor art project. And their choice to declare war religiously against everything that I was doing, being anti-patriotic, because anybody who knows what the Medal of Honor is understands that that is the top military award. So to do anything to cause problems for that would constitute as such, as a declaration. If hypothetically Cactus Jack at any point in time ever said, "This is Sparta," because he said that whenever we passed exit number 300 on I-35, that was a declaration of war in one of his favorite movies. If you ever said that in reference to causing issues for my Medal of Honor art project, and or that Fiesta, Texas, San Antonio thing, that was his explanation for the declaration of war for him and those with him. Which again, then you go to that book and the definition of domestic terrorism on the homeland soil of the United States of America. And then because of the aspects of the different religions and non-religions alike in regards to the different Medal of Honor recipients, going back to raising of the dead. I am not going to divorce any of the individuals who caused problems to my Medal of Honor art project. Those cherubim ones, I highly recommend that if they would like to attempt to get a divorce, that they file with whatever court system, but it would have to be in the state of Texas. They would have to file for a divorce through that. And again, it could not be a class action because each one of them chose to do it of their own free will to cause problems. And since I am the only executrix, that would mean they'd have to go through me to get a divorce from my dead ex-husband, their spiritual husband. And since there are many, many religions who believe in that sort of sealing, it doesn't matter what religion, realistically, they believe in spiritual marriage. I believe in spiritual marriage. I was never spiritually married to my dead ex-husband. He refused. So, if those individuals would like that divorce, they'd have to file in the state of Texas. I am the only executrix who could grant that. And the kicker is, depending on how long they have been causing issues, Depends on how long they have been married spiritually to my dead ex-husband. My 2 ex-sisters-in-law? That would be from the day that they went to the service at Fort Worth Cemetery area, the Laurel Land Funeral Home. That's 2008. Their children, since then. I have repeatedly said incest is a bad thing. Ironically, Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen and Susie Marie Nichols Lopez defended incest, as did their dead brother, when he was alive, had explained his particular belief for it, while I dealt with the conversation of explaining why it was not a good thing for incest. However, the other videos that I'd like to get to, I'm waiting until both of the other videos upload on the other cell phone. So whenever that finishes and gets done, I'll get the other videos and broadcasts going. Until then, this particular video can get going. But the irony of the War Room name and that, I cannot understand why any decent, which obviously cherubim are not decent human beings, they're cherubim. That's why they would cause problems to my Medal of Honor art project. So I guess I don't have to worry about that, because I can't really say I can't understand why any decent human being would cause problems to that. Because cherubim are the ones who did it, of their own free will. So decent human beings would not be classified within the label of cherubim. Ever. Personal opinion, though.